I pull up in Pittsburgh, I get his whole corner locked up. If I toasties, get every white boy in your corner popped up.
Champion, we're here at Body Bag Battle League, the Hunger Games event. Veracity. Mack Myron versus Real Deal. What happened here? You thought we wasn't gonna touch it, huh? You thought that this match was gonna go under the water and he was gonna. No. Pat, how you feel? What's your initial thoughts?
First of all, shout out to Bbbl and Lico. To get into the battle. Oh, sorry, shake you know, really great performance for Mack. You know, he's somebody that I had heard of but hadn't seen until the Born Legacy Supreme PGs back in July.
Okay.
He had a great battle with Jeffrey that day, and I think he had probably the second or third best performance of that day. And it's kind of ironic that we haven't seen that battle yet. And then fast forward to now, and here we are with Mack Myron versus Real Deal. And clearly it's a 3-0, and I think it was a really standout performance for Mack. It was a great performance, especially against an opponent like Real Deal, who was a very respected battler, who but unfortunately was in rare form for this battle.
Yeah, there's nothing, you know, obviously we'll talk about it in details, but as far as large overview, there's nothing much to say. This is probably, I haven't watched every Mack Myron battle. I've seen a few of his battles. I've seen him had a great battle against Bbbl. Very, you know, a strange battle to view, because not only do they sound alike, they even laugh alike in that battle. You know, obviously I saw him 3-0, oops, again, you know, on RBE. Saw him jump in the K-Shiner Will battle in the third round. But this is definitely the best battle, you know, 3 rounds I've seen from him. And Real Deal, you know, he's kind of known as a professional guy who can go in any league and, you know, be good on that league, whether it's King of the Dot, Grind Time, Don't Flop. Obviously was not his best day on this one. So we want to go deep into this one?
Before we get into that, Mack Myron has been around. He's been around in the game for a long period of time, even before JC got hot. He battled JC. Mack, what are you doing, baby? Why are you just now getting notoriety or some type of claim to fame when you've been here just as long as everyone else? Even before the PGs that got like the twerks and stuff like that, he's behind you. You were putting on before him. So did you just find a formula? Did you just start drinking the right Kool-Aid, so to speak? Huh? Come on, Mack, get it together. He definitely changed style a little bit. He's punching a lot faster, doing a little bounce. I don't like the bounce.
You don't like it? You don't like it?
I don't like the bounce. I don't like the bounce.
I like it, man. He sounds like Bbbl. He moves like New Jersey twerk. I like it. I like it.
That's the problem right there. You know, the bars are good though. The bars are good. Let's get into round 1. How you guys feel about round 1?
On the first listen, I thought this was kind of close. Once I started taking notes, even that round is not really close. It was a good round on both. I mean, Real Deal had some, you know, good lines. You know, the Reservoir Dogs Lost Ear line, that was a great line. The entire, I think Bbbl already did the T-Mac name flip, but the way Real Deal did, it was different. You know, Stretch 4, I Lazy, I thought that was great. Oh, the Punching Mad Soda Popinski line, great line. Type 2 Diabetes Patrice O'Neal line, that was fire. So he started off really good, but Mack, it was just too much. It was just too much, and he got, you know, right out of the gate. You know, I know you have some lines as well, but fresh out the gate, Mel by the Leg, Young Forest, that was fire. Real, you know, Walker, Chuck Norris, fire. You know, he has a slogan now that he invented, God Don't Like Ugly. Yeah. That's fire. Sliding Like Penny Loafers. I thought that was great. Toasties.
Yes, yes. Or Combat Corner Pop-Up. Yeah.
We've heard Toasties line before, but this is by far the best one. Yeah. By far the 100%. Best one. Wig Up, Fall Off Like Vanilla Ice. Fire. Black on the Whiteboard Like 100 Bullets. Fire. Nag Nasty Like Jabba the Hutt. Fire.
That was crazy. Yeah. Anything else?
It's hard to add because I had 85%.
I don't know which ones to leave out.
No, it's hard. That's why I want to talk about this, because there's so much that you have to acknowledge. One thing that stood out for me was, going back to Real Deal for a second, the Joe Pesci back casino thing that he opened with was great. And then getting back into Mack for a second, he made a reference to Dangerous Minds and Teacher in the Lounge. Fire.
Yeah.
A simple line. I can't believe nobody has ever said more birds flip than perfect. How has nobody thought of that? How has nobody thought of that yet? Just So good. And that's what he does, man. There's a lot of lines that we either heard before or some like simple concept that nobody's used before. And that's why, you know, there's no over the headers, but they're all super effective.
Yeah. For real, during the first, you know, I definitely realized he was trying to do an angle. Mack Myron using the movie Friday too much. I thought that was pretty dope, but it kind of stopped pretty short, you know, and then it just wasn't enough with Mack Myron. All the punchlines you just said, I gave Mack Myron the first.
Yeah, clearly.
I agree. At first, you know, as I watched this, to be honest, I watched this multiple times just because of the interest I had, aside from preparing for today.
Yeah.
Part of me was really torn about maybe edging the first to Real Deal, maybe after the first 2 watches, but as I went deeper into this more often, I just had to switch and give it to Mack.
Yeah, Mack had the glow. So second round, starting off a Real Deal. It's not much to say here. I'm surprised that a guy that can freestyle and has been known to freestyle for a long period of time chokes within the first 30 seconds. The battle, since we all had it clear, the battle was already over in the first 30 seconds of the second round. Yep. He did have that freestyle moment where he said, I'm getting my butt kicked. Yeah. I'm getting beat.
Ass whoop. Yep.
Yeah, like, and then Mack goes, anyone goes to Mack.
I mean, again, I will say this. If there's, you know, I've seen the way you recap battles before. And obviously we have to, you know, obviously the big purpose of this segment is to give Mack Myron the props he deserves.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
He's been doing this forever, and this is an amazing battle. But when you give somebody props, you have to critique him a little bit, just a little.
Yeah,
and
of course.
I do think he kind of started off a little bit slow in the second. It was, you know, I didn't really like the Jimmy the Cricket line that much. You know, I don't know, you know. But, you know, he did have a magazine, a real comic book. Yeah. That was great. But then, you know, second half of the second round, he was just, that's when, you know, as you said, the battle was probably over within, you know, 30 seconds of Real Deal's round. But by the time, when the second half of, that was like nails in the coffin of that battle. Just again, spit along like Julian and Big Daddy. Yeah. When I say, oh, what was the line? Whip for sale? Yeah, Deal on the glass.
Deal stuck on the glass. The whip for sale. I thought that was crazy.
That's a you know, J Black 3-point line, if you will. Even, you know, some funny lines, a Happy Kwanzaa line. I thought that was hilarious, man. And again, man, some simple lines that I've never heard anybody. I've never heard anybody say Pops Run, Diggy Simmons. Such a simple concept that I've never heard anybody use. Yeah, again, not much to say. I'll clear. Yeah.
Anything else to add?
Again, taking all the thunder, so hopefully I can start the discussion on the third round. That's okay. But no, I agree. One other thing for Mack was the whole Ed Wig Goodburger thing. I was kind of missed, but I think it was good. And then also, in all fairness to Real Deal, he had something very subtle in the opening, talking about apparently some battle with ill will not happening, and he said will in his name, but he wouldn't do it. Very subtle, but it didn't have to get reaction, but it definitely stuck out nonetheless.
So going into the third, I'll let you have it.
Oh, thank you. I want to get into Mack stuff because everyone else has said the stuff I've noted, so but obviously you can talk about it. He had the, in no particular order, Ain't in Your Roots to have these black thoughts. Then there was a part where he was doing like a father-son convo about going through school and how his future career was going to turn out. And then, you know, when he said the part about Tupac Shaker.
Tupac had me cry out on the floor with that. And it was, and the way he said it.
Exactly. I think his delivery, no pun intended, was really good about it. And one of the things, and I personally wasn't offended, I was kind of concerned that maybe Mack was doing too much about making, and again, I wasn't offended, but I just thought maybe he was edging on doing too much about, you know, Real Deal being a white guy or whatever, like myself, but that's okay. But I think,
let him know.
It's okay, it's okay. But the way he said it, it was, you know, one of the things that we talk about is people being comedic, and I think just his presence was also something that you don't really see much when it comes to saying something funny. He kind of had a nice mannerism to deliver it as well. Yeah. And then my favorite thing from this battle, and probably my favorite thing I've heard all year, I only want to say this verbatim, but I had to write it down. Near the end, he says, I put in hard work, dedication, blood, sweat, devastation. I'll make your world end, revelation. Ish is real, heaven waiting. I'll make your soul lift, levitation. I kick the piece, meditation. This will bang a white guy, 6 degrees of separation. He delivered it much better, obviously, but my favorite thing all year that I've heard from anybody. Just the content, the way he said it, and also where he said it in the battle. This was towards the end of the third, and despite, you know, Real Deal's rare, you know, slip-ups in this battle, it's just you couldn't have said something better at a better time in a battle.
Yeah, and it was good. You know, one thing I see people like the big difference between older bellers and bellers now is that people used to have closers like a lot. That was like a big thing you used to do, especially in the 1 minute round, right? So it was refreshing to see somebody close out a battle with just a haymaker. You know, that usually doesn't happen. And don't really have much to add. He is, like you said, he was really, you know, that's the thing that kind of almost separates him from just other punchliners, right? Is the fact that he can be funny. Yeah. Right. Like you know, at this point we've seen a lot of, you know, black bellers against white bellers, so we've heard a lot of, you know, white jokes. But I thought that was hilarious, the conversation with the dad, you know, well, Dad, I'm gonna be a bell right now. That was hilarious. That was funny, man. And yeah, you know, Mack Myron showed why, you know, we have to stop sleeping on him, and hopefully, you know, one of the big leagues will reach out to him and give him a big bell sometime soon. One thing I will mention, Real Deal, I thought that the whole juicy bar, like, you know, teachers told me I'm not going to be shit. Well, looking from a teacher's point of view, it might be legit. I thought that was a really good, you know, good line. Stab at 50 like Black Child. I thought that was good, but, you know, same as in the first round. It's not the Real Deal's round was not, you know, was bad. It wasn't bad, but it was just not enough for what, you know, Mack Myron was doing. And at that point, everybody kind of knew that the bell was over too. So.
And in all fairness, if I could just also sneak in here, the Real Deal part in that third round, he had something that ended with Son becoming big like Valletta Wallace. Yeah. I do listen to some Biggie, so I got the reference. But so in all fairness, I want to give him some credit for that as well in that third round. I know that also was cut a little short, like the second. But
one of the bars I liked from him is very simple too. I like just like the intricacy. It wasn't too intricate, but he said, "Warrant. There's not a warrant you can show me that can warrant my respect." I just thought that was extremely dope. For Real Deal, you came slacking. You came lacking against a guy that is hungry. You top tiers cannot do this. It's gonna look bad for you. This battle has what, 3,500 views. It will have 20,000, and more people be talking about it by the week is done. So they're gonna see you trying to sneak one past the people.
Yeah, this battle's gonna get the infamous champion bump.
Oh yeah,
you know.
Yeah, so. The bump. I'm gonna put the link. For this battle, it's going to be in the description box if you want to see what happened. It'll take like 25 minutes, so it won't kill your time. But I like the fact that Real Deal was talking about a teacher perspective. I think maybe he should go into one of his battles as a teacher. Yeah. As who he his other half is when he's at work, and really break someone down from a teacher's perspective. Sure. Not just a 30-second.
Give somebody a report card. This is what you get for flow. This is what you get for.
Why hasn't he done that yet? Maybe he. Well,
now he's not going to do it because he saw us.
You'll have to cite us.
Listen, if you do that, I'll take this video down. I'm just saying. But I think that'll be extremely dope. I think that's his last or next big ploy to do on a major stage. I think URL will definitely give him another shot. So, but again, Mack Myron, we got to stop sleeping on him. He's definitely been around for a long period of time. He's already done 2 to 3 PGs, I've heard.
Yes.
And I've seen one of them. So the next step is, you know, Born Legacy. Well, what's the hold up? That's my thoughts. Mack Myron 3-0, clear as day.
Yeah, nothing else to add, man. Just again, best performance from Mack Myron. I hope he keeps it up. I do hope that, you know, one of the big leagues will give him a chance. He definitely deserves it. Okay. Yeah, nothing else, man. Just hope again. Hope he'll bring the same type of performance, same type of globals. You know, next time he's given an opportunity, and I hope that again with the champion bump, I hope this guy gets the views and the respect that it deserves.
Shout out to Bill's. Pat.
Oh yes, again 3-0. Obviously, I think. I hope to see more from him in the very near future. It's also good to see somebody move around a little bit without being distracting. Yeah. But I also say that because I think he needs to get a hold of his towel and just keep it in one spot. Halfway through the battle, he starts switching it and twirling it and stuff.
That's the new style, man. I told you, it's the New Jersey twerk. That's the new hot thing in battle right now.
No, but he's like kind of like twerk. I think he maybe even more so. He has enough material that he doesn't need these extra things to have on his name.
Okay. Champion.
I be damn, mama. They know who I am, mama. Still your little boy. Tell them I'm the man, mama. Smile a bit. I shook a couple hands, mama. I'm getting there. I made a couple